Hi, P. Williams here at Kailua Dermatology, and I'm here to answer some questions you guys might be having about skincare related to acne. We'll go over a couple things in general. First is what is acne, what causes it, and then we'll go into some products or treatments, and then some procedures that can help your skin too. Some basic anatomy of the skin. So obviously this is the fatty layer of the skin called the subcutaneous, and this is where part of the hair follicle lives, and this is the oil gland apparatus. So this oil gland apparatus is going to connect to the surface of the skin to bring oils and typically moisturize the skin. Two things that contribute to acne in general are sticky oils that get trapped in this pore and don't flow to the surface, and then actually these epidermal skin cells that line kind of like the oil gland opening can get clogged in here too. So the third thing that can happen is that bacteria starts to grow in that perfect little environment. So bacteria is a secondary, problem, not a primary. The long short answer is yes, it can. If you are not acne prone, you could eat whatever you want and your skin you can get a pimple. But if you're like probably 80% of the general population, if you eat certain foods, it's going to basically flare your skin. Foods can upregulate the oil gland activity, making sticky oils. The foods that I know about that upregulate oil gland activity and contribute to acne, they may not be the primary cause. They can contribute are nuts and dairy. Sugar inadvertently can affect cortisol levels and inflammation and make that worse too. So make sure to eat healthy, drink plenty of water, and try to avoid those foods if you notice there's a correlation. If you're not noticing a correlation, it's not too concerning. So not only does this oil gland get upregulated by foods we eat, but topical products that may have natural hormones in them, like nuts and different vegetable oils, can bind to the oil gland as they get absorbed through the skin and also do the same thing as our foods. There's not much literature about this, but this is direct anecdotal information I've learned working directly with my patients for about 20 years in clinic. A good example of this is I had probably about 200 patients I inherited when I first came to Kailua Dermatology, took over their care, and they all had cystic acne flare in spite of being on antibiotics and topical products. The only change I made to all those patients is I noticed that the providers had put them on CeraVe moisturizing cream. Although CeraVe is a great moisturizer, it upregulates this oil gland activity. The only thing I did is I took those patients off the CeraVe cream. All 200 patients cleared with no other change to their regimen other than taking them off of CeraVe. But there are some other things that can flare acne besides like genetics and foods. You can get a mechanical acne just from friction on the skin by over-exfoliating the skin or trying to over-dry the skin. It can inflame the skin and cause rebound oiliness. Also going to be some increased flare if you're exercising more, because heat kind of drives oil gland activity too. So if you're exercising, working out, you may want to use a toner afterwards to help neutralize the oils on the skin that have kind of been produced more. Our skin can be secondarily infected with staph bacteria from doorknobs and workout equipment that we've been touching. The long short answer to that is it can contribute, but people that are prone to scar typically will scar whether they're picking or not. If those people are prone to scarring and they pick and get secondary infection, they're always going to have delayed healing and possibly more scarring than they would if they were not picking. So try not to pick your acne with your fingernails or any tools or instruments that may cause secondary infection. I see girls as young as like 7 or 8 years old with acne. Is that common? No, maybe only 10% of young female girls will have acne at that age. So, I mean, predominantly patients that, have acne are probably going to be 14 to, 18 or 19, and it tends to get better for those people. But I see patients that may have not even had acne as teenagers, and for the first time in adult life, maybe in their 20s or even 30s, they'll start developing acne for the first time in their life. So you just can't predict who's going to have acne and who's going to be more susceptible to flare up maybe after having a child or during pregnancy. So hormonal swings or shifts can always trigger the oil gland apparatus to become overactive. A typical treatment, what we figure out together as a team, we try to use the least aggressive medication to treat anybody with acne. So we may be starting with topical products like washes, toners, and trying to change your products, maybe contributing to the acne. Or if they're fine, just add on whatever's needed. So some of the treatments we use are prescription, maybe like retinols. They're specialized vitamin A prescriptions. Retinols have the unique ability to thin this layer of skin and keep it thin if you keep using them, making that oil gland stay open, allow oils to flow onto the skin surface. So that's one way retinols are helping. The other way is it decreases the tendency of the skin to scar. So that's great for people that are prone to scarring. Some vitamin A in there also assists the skin cells to repair and recover using those vitamin A as building blocks to help decrease oxidative damage and inflammation in the skin. So as a side note, retinols, because they can thin the skin, can make you more susceptible to drying, and then if the skin's a little thinner, to actually sunburn easier than you normally would. Sun protection, good hydration are always important with retinols. There can be a third player in this game, or this little battle we're dealing with, bacteria. And the name acne even comes from the specific type of bacteria that commonly can colonize this oil gland mixture that gets clogged in here, P. acnes. Things like minocycline and even cephalexin can help kill that bacteria. And we mentioned another bacteria that's common from picking and scratching the skin is staph bacteria. Medications like minocycline can treat that as well. The other benefit of antibiotics, even in low doses, is that they are anti-inflammatory, kind of like ibuprofen is to our muscle or maybe our joints when they get inflamed. Minocycline can do the same thing for our oil gland apparatus here. It can decrease inflammation and help the skin heal and decrease the oil gland activity. So that's the basic idea with topicals and prescription antibiotics. They're not killing a lot of bacteria, but they're helping decrease inflammation. Sometimes when that inflammation is bad enough and we're damaging the deeper part of the skin, which can lead to scarring, we may be discussing stronger medication like Accutane. So Accutane isn't for everybody, but for scarring acne that is resistant to or needing prolonged treatment with antibiotics and topicals that are not helping or need to increase the dosing, Accutane may be great for curing acne, so you can get off all those medications and avoid long-term complications of antibiotic use. So we talk about that in clinic. If you're needing antibiotics for more than 6 months, it's usually a better idea or plan, if it's appropriate for you, to do Accutane for 6 months, cure your acne and get off those antibiotics. We're going to go back to the anatomy of the skin, and we're going to talk about how these products will help heal your skin and help prevent acne to start with. Some things can help prevent acne, some things can help heal what's already there. So it's always a better idea to try to prevent than try to have to heal after the damage occurs. And then you have less injury to try to repair later. To try to prevent the clogging and blocking in the pore and maybe even help decrease some oil gland activity is to start with the right kind of wash. Salicylic based and also benzoyl peroxide based. So most washes are going to be, there's special ingredients in our washes that we have like glycolics and salicylic. So they're natural chemicals that can help decrease inflammation in our oil gland apparatus here. They're also gentle enough that they can slightly exfoliate and break down oils without overstripping oils or causing excessive dryness, which we talked about earlier can cause rebound oiliness. There's also other ingredients like green tea in here that can decrease inflammation further. So this one I would recommend for patients, maybe 3 times a week. It has a soft enough exfoliating granule in it that it's not going to overstrip or over injure the surface layer of the skin, but it can help keep that pore open and keep the oils from getting blocked and the skin cells from getting blocked in that pore. So highly recommend this. A product's a good way to know if, like, hey, is this a good product? If your patients like it, they tell you, I love this product, and they're asking, like, can I use it more? If it's not causing inflammation, you're getting better, yes, you can use it more days a week. I probably wouldn't use it more than once a day. This kit is labeled cystic kit. So cystic implies you have deeper cysts and more painful cysts, and the pore in general is inflamed and clogged. So the idea with benzoyl peroxides, there are 2. They're great at breaking down those sticky oils, making them into more watery oils that flow out of the pore and onto the skin surface. So having an oily skin surface isn't always a bad thing. That may indicate that the oils are actually flowing onto the skin surface, and that's better than being trapped in the pore. Some people take it as a sign that their products are working if they're not oily. We can deal with like oils on the surface, but if they're in the pore and they're trapped and stuck like cement, that's a bad scenario. That's going to set up more cystic acne. That's when we may be using like that benzoyl peroxide to help break down those cystic oils. Now, some people can be sensitive to benzoyl peroxide, so we may not start out with something like that. More people can tolerate salicylics and glycolics. They are gentle exfoliants. They can help turn the skin cells over a little more rapidly. So an advantage to the glycolics and salicylics is that mild exfoliant property. When you scrub hard, you're going to cause rebound, inflammation, more oils, more sticky oils, not a good scenario. We do recommend just washing with fingertips, little round circle strokes. If you have like a Clarisonic or a special brush, make sure to use light pressure. You're not going to push hard on that. You're just going to let the brush do the work and gently kind of foam up the product on your skin, and then just rinse off with cool water without like rubbing with your towel or washcloths or buff puffs. I would recommend avoiding those at most all cases where you're washing your skin, whether it's in the shower or at the sink. Let's touch a little bit on moisturizers. We talked about that briefly, how they can contribute to acne, but they also can help your skin heal if you're using them properly. So I highly recommend hyaluronic acid products for the skin for hydration. Main benefits of HA are that they can hold 1,000 times their weight in water. The more water your skin has in it, the better the cell activity in the skin operates. So if our skin gets too dehydrated by using benzoyl peroxides, using retinol products, and sometimes even salicylics and glycolics can exfoliate the skin a little bit, if you don't repair that outer layer of skin that prevents water loss, then you're going to set up your skin for excessive oiliness because your skin's going to perceive that it's too dry. So hydrating serum, like hyaluronic acid, can hold moisture in your skin and hold it there. So this is a specialized HA because it's micronized. It can actually get absorbed through the skin, stay in the skin, instead of just sitting on the skin surface. Most moisturizers just sit on the skin surface and try to prevent oil loss and moisture loss. But it's much better if your product can absorb into the skin and not clog your pore, but also hold a lot of water next to the little particles that stay in your skin. And patients love this product. They continue to rave about it and come back and get it over and over again. This bottle here probably lasts most people using it twice a day, like 3-4 months. Most of our products here are going to be a prescription grade cosmeceutical product. They're going to be much better than something like Proactive Murad or something you can pull off the shelf at Longs or Walgreens. So don't waste your money on those products. Come in and get a free consultation, or come in as a medical patient. We could talk about these products and we could phase you over to these products and do your skin healing without as much complication. Take control of your skin today and start using products that are actually going to help your skin rather than making it worse. So we have pretty much anything you can do to help your skin. Minimal downtime is what most people want. What can I do today and go right back to school or right back to work, and nobody's gonna know. We have blue light therapy for that. And we have other light-based treatments called IPL, or intense pulse light. So treatments you can do that can once again target the inflammation in the oil gland apparatus. Blue light is a special wavelength that can go down about 460 nanometers, or basically into that depth of the skin, to decrease inflammation in the skin structure, and it also can help kill some bacteria by producing hydrogen peroxide in the skin. You're getting a lot more concentrated form than you would in natural sunlight. If you go out into the sun for maybe 20-30 minutes a day, you probably are getting an adequate amount of blue light, and you may not need to do the treatment. But for people that aren't able to go out consistently or they don't want to get sun damage, the blue light's great because it doesn't have the radiation damage from natural UVA, UVB, but it also can help heal your skin in just a few short minutes. We're also often applying salicylics on. We can spot treat if you don't want a lot of downtime. If you're able to have a little bit of flaking and peeling for 2 or 3 days, the topical stronger forms of salicylic can be put on to help your skin heal faster. Intense pulse light works similarly, but more like the name implies, intense pulse of light. And we can do that different wavelengths of light to hit different areas of the skin where the inflammation might be reside. Doing those treatments can be as effective as doing Accutane, and can often downregulate the oil gland activity on a more permanent basis when we use other chemicals in combination with intense pulse light, like Levulon and serums applied to the skin prior to activating it with the light. Other treatments that are no downtime, we have like microderm abrasion, which is basically sanding the surface of the skin, but at the same time it's vacuuming or pulling those sticky oils that may be trapped in the pores. We talked about how in many cases the oils are so sticky they get cemented in here, but other times when that happens, the skin will grow right over the surface of the pore, and it doesn't matter how much you dig and squeeze, you're never going to open up that pore. So by using the microderm, it sands that surface of the skin up gently enough that it can free up those oils to be hydrofacial, can disrupt the surface of the skin over the pore, and use water or different little solutions to force the oils out of the skin that are clogged in there, kind of removing toxins and inflammation from the skin, and assisting the skin to heal and hydrating the skin. So as we talked about earlier, when the skin gets dehydrated, toxins will build up in the skin, further leading to inflammation, more injury to the skin cell, and then delayed in the healing and the clearing of their skin, because we want our skin to look great. Thanks for tuning in for another segment about dermatology and skincare here at Kailua Dermatology. Once again, I'm PA Williams here, and if you have any questions for us, please email us, and we'll be happy to, if we get enough response for specific questions, we're happy to make another segment about those. And that's kind of how we came up with this one about acne. You can check out our previous posts and videos about like dermal fillers and some Botox information as well.